Hi, my name's Caleb, and I help young men quit playing video games. In the description, I'll leave a link to my Instagram. Feel free to follow me on there. I played video games for most of my teenage years, some of my early 20s, and was able to quit about a year ago. I went through plenty of mistakes that were detrimental to me quitting. In this video, I'm going to share my mistakes, plus a couple that I didn't make personally, but could prolong someone quitting if they do make them. If you go through this entire video and make yourself aware of these mistakes, it will make quitting easier. Mistake number 1 is going to be reducing the amount of time that you play. Video games are made to be addictive. Video games are made to keep you playing. So reducing the amount of time you play just doesn't work. I personally made this mistake with trying to reduce my time to 1 hour a day. The thing is, by the time you boot the game up, sit through loading screens, create your class, mess around with some friends, it's not just 1 hour, bro. Mistake number 2 is going to be keeping friends around that do not support your decision to quit. I had friends that would pressure me to play. I would also see them on Discord playing my favorite game, giving me urges and feeling left out, leading me to playing. Number 3 is going to be not having something to replace gaming with. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1 being that if you're anything like me, you've spent a considerable amount of time on video games throughout your life. So just all of a sudden, not having something to do instead will make you probably want to go back to playing the video games. And the second thing is that video games produce a lot of dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good response in our brains. So now that you're just not going to be getting dopamine all of a sudden, huge spikes of dopamine, because video games are so stimulating, you're going to need something to do instead to give you that dopamine. What you could do is start to introduce healthy habits and hobbies. Healthy hobbies or activities that you could do in that time that you used to play the video games. Later in this video, I'm going to talk about self-improvement. This is a great thing to start, and it will fill up that time. It will be the replacement for video games. Mistake number 4 is going to be having poor mental health, or at least not addressing it before you quit playing video games. The reason for this is that for me, when I was quitting video games, I had poor mental health. And that would lead me to go to video games for comfort. It was something to escape being stressed out, or maybe you feel down that day, so I'd go play video games. So when I quit, and I was replacing playing video games with self-improvement, and I was starting to record YouTube videos, I would get really overwhelmed with recording them, stressed, feeling down, and then I'd go end up playing. It wasn't until I really assessed my mental health and made it a priority that then I was able to finally start making some progress, or at least consistent progress. Number 5 is going to be being in a constant state of trying to quit video games. Now that I have quit multiple addictions and quit playing video games along with a bunch of other bad habits, I don't like the word trying. The word trying seems so uncertain. I want you to now look at it as quitting. You're no longer trying to quit, you're quitting. When you're 2 weeks into not playing video games, you've quit, bro, okay? You're no longer trying to quit playing video games. You've quit. Now, when you're in the early stages and you're like learning about it, watching videos like this, you're quitting. But when you've had your last video game session and you're now like 1 week in, 2 days in, whatever it may be, You've quit, bro. You're no longer a video gamer. You're making progress now in real life. You're no longer making the progress in the video games. You're making progress in something that matters. Mistake number 6 is going to be consuming junk food or having an overall poor diet. This is something that I experienced. I'm not sure if you will experience this same thing. I just want to make you aware of it because there's a good chance it could spark some urges and make you play again. So, back when I used to play a lot of video games, I used to eat junk food and drink sugary drinks while playing. Most of the days I would have one of those like 20-ounce Red Bulls, maybe some of those like hot pretzels, like the Snyder ones, some Sour Patch Kids, whatever it was. I would combine eating junk food with playing. So after quitting and eating the junk food or drinking the Red Bull, whatever it may be, your choice of drink or snack, it would remind me of when I used to do both. And it's hard to really explain, but, giving you urges to play again, to do those two very stimulating activities. One bad habit can lead to another bad habit. It's freezing in here right now. Mistake number 7 is going to be thinking about gaming obsessively and looking at it as something that you can't have anymore. Instead, start to focus on what you're gaining rather than what you're giving up. This change of mindset can help a lot. Mistake number 8 is going to be not being on self-improvement while quitting. Really quick, self-improvement is basically trying to better yourself on a daily basis and starting to do healthy habits, productive habits, rather than the bad habits that we know aren't good for us. This is your chance to level up in real life rather than leveling up in your favorite video game. Number 9 is going to be telling yourself that you have failed if you make a mistake and play after you have quit. And now you might as well go back to playing video games because clearly quitting didn't work. Look, bro, we're human. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Use this setback as a moment to kind of look at how far you've come. Maybe it's a weekend. Maybe it's 2 months in. Maybe it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if it does, look at how far you've come. You know you can quit because you already did. So just resume right where you left off. It's not the end of the world. In the future, now, from this experience or this minor setback, you're going to know what to avoid and prevent it from happening next time. I remember there being a time where I downloaded Steam again. I downloaded Skyrim. I was on like the opening cutscene and I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing? And I got like kind of upset at myself. I was like, bro. So I deleted it again. But like I said, if anything, it was just this little minor setback. And at least I realized I was doing something wrong or something that I didn't want to do anymore. That's progress. Number 10 is going to be getting recommended gaming videos on YouTube or continuing to watch gaming content after you have quit. The reason I believe this is so important is because all it takes is you scrolling around, seeing a video, maybe it's your favorite game. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, so let's say the new Call of Duty came out, right? You see that there's a bunch of new features, new zombie maps, and you start getting this like urge, you're like, wow, oh man. So you click on it, start watching it. I could be playing this right now, You want to avoid this. So if you need to, which You should. Create a new YouTube. Start to watch self-improvement videos on there, educational content, podcasts, stuff like that. Then you'll start getting recommended these kind of videos rather than the video game content. Knowing what you know now, quitting video games will be 10 times easier for you. You'll be able to put gaming behind you and start living a better life, leveling up in the real world rather than the digital world.